going to get sorted pretty quickly.
There we go.
Yeah, hello.
Hello.
Hello. Yep, you got us? Hello, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Welcome.
1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Testing. We are here.
1, 2.
Michael, are they doing a broadcast in Sydney for this or not? Like a live show?
Nah,
Studio?
Streaming. Yeah,
just straight in. Okay.
Streaming. Yeah.
One, two. Wow. Evening. 1, 2.
Very good evening and welcome for this round of 16 fixture in the FFA Cup. ABD Stadium is the venue. Melbourne City, the champions of the A-League men's competition, up against Hume City. It's their home venue of Hume. Fantastic setting tonight. Dark clouds over Melbourne. A stormy day throughout the Melbourne CBD. We could get anything tonight. Joining me in commentary is Scott Miller. Scott, thanks for joining us. This should be a beauty.
I can't wait. Let's get into it.
Hume City, of course, with a rich history in this competition. They've only missed the round of 32 on 2 occasions. A great record in the FFA Cup over the years. Made the semi-final back in 2015 at Amy Park. Hume against Melbourne Victory. And tonight, this young side takes on the might of Melbourne City. Patrick Kisnorbo on the sideline tonight, making quite a few changes from the team that played against Adelaide United.
Yeah, talking to him before the game, a lot of rotation in terms of giving a lot of young players the opportunity tonight. But, you know, he's got to be careful because this is a strong opposition they're playing tonight. So, good start to the game so far.
When we talk about the inexperience of Melbourne City, there's plenty of experience as well. Matthew Leckie is in the starting lineup tonight for Melbourne City. We'll run through it for you. Tom Glover in goal, Roston Griffiths, Matthew Leckie, Taras Gomulka, Manuel Pucciarelli, the new signing from Italy, right on the ball now. It's the first look of him for Melbourne City fans this evening. Curtis Good, Marco Tilio, Raphael, Karen Stokes, Jordan Boss and Anthony Lesiotis in the starting 11 for Melbourne City tonight. On the bench, Scott Jamieson, Nuno Raish, Andrew Naboot, Max Caputo, Luke Aresti, Anton Suleimani and Matt Sutton. For Hume City, well, they got through to this stage of the competition with a win over Port Melbourne. That was 3 weeks ago. They've been training all along to try and keep themselves as match fit as they can under the circumstances. Obviously, there's no NPL competition on in Victoria at the moment. In goal for them, Lucas Trenkovski. Number 2 is Burhan Ebol. Number 6, Aidan Gardner. Number 9, Josh Bingham. As Hume take possession. Mark Ochieng, who played with Adelaide United and scored a terrific goal in the round of 16, is in the starting lineup as well. Matthew Lazaridis, Mitch Cooper, Hayden Tennant, Brandon Lawton, you might remember him, who played for Melbourne Victory a couple of seasons ago in the number 16 jersey. The number 18 is Benjamin Bowler, and 22, Nathaniel Bonada. Here's Kieran Stokes on the ball for Melbourne City. Austin Griffiths, who picked up an injury in the FFA Cup game in the round of 32 for Melbourne City against South Melbourne with an injury to his rib. It's his first appearance back in the team since then. And a great turnout of Hume City fans tonight, making plenty of noise. Here's Stokes. Now Lesiotis, back to Griffiths. Patrick Isnorbo saying before the game that he was really excited to see what some of these young boys can do tonight. It's an opportunity for them on a big stage to play 90 minutes.
Yeah, massively. And they're playing against a real strong opponent as well, which is important. We see the rhythm of the game so far. City are really trying to build up on this right-hand side here, pushing the right fullback on high and wide, looking to penetrate against this left fullback here.
Rafael Borges Rodriguez, who made his debut last season for Melbourne City, just finished his schooling at Parade College in Bundoora, not too far from here. Just finished year 12, so he's a free man now. He can concentrate on his football a little bit more. And that's some of the challenges that these players face, juggling school and playing and training. And
yeah, and on the flip side, the Hume tonight, full-time work and then playing against an A-League squad tonight. Very difficult for them.
Here's Curtis Good on the ball for Melbourne City. Jordan Boss, who was involved in that late drama for Melbourne City on the weekend, conceding to Adelaide United. Miscommunication and the back pass to the keeper, and they got themselves in a right old tangle, and Ben Halloran with a wonderful finish to equalise for Adelaide United. Great to see again that Jordan Boss gets an opportunity to redeem himself a few days later, get on the park and forget about it and move on.
Michael, that's the only way for a young player and any player in particular. You make a mistake, you want to see the manager play you the next game. That's the most trustworthy thing that he's done there. But, it's never a nice thing stepping out after a mistake.
Here's the first look of Pucciarelli, who joined the club in the pre-season, had limited time to prepare, and then just as he was ready to go, he picked up a little niggle, which often happens when you're trying to rush into a starting 11.
The demands of the A-League are a lot different as well. The conditions, we always speak about the foreigners moving to Australia and the conditions in which they need to adapt at times as well. Quite interesting, the formation here in terms of the rotation, the right fullback and the wide right player of Melbourne City there, pushing high. They're not giving Hume any space to play at all. Obviously sitting back in the mid-third, but they'll look to engage this left centre-back and really put pressure on the ball here.
It's a wonderful playing surface here at ABD Stadium for an NPL venue.
Yeah, outstanding.
They've played over 15 FFA Cup games here over the years. Other clubs have used this venue as well, and you can see why. Great little atmosphere. As Hume take possession now through Gardner. Nice movement of the ball. Mitch Cooper plays it back to Loughton. Very strong side, Hume City. Quite a few players with A-League experience here tonight.
They're definitely experienced. And you look at the way they're building up now, they're adventurous. They're going for it tonight, pushing 4 or 5 men up against that back four of Melbourne City.
Lovely ball for Lazaridis. And some work to do here for Melbourne City. They do manage to clear it. It's a famous name of Australian football, Lazaridis.
Yeah, I remember watching him when I was in England. Superb.
Lovely ball again, sprayed out by Benjamin Fowler. And as you said, Scott, they're attacking. They're going for this, Hume. They're not going to sit back and try and soak up the pressure. They sense that Melbourne City are here and they're playing some younger players and they're going to go toe-to-toe with them.
Definitely. They're definitely using Ellerbol playing out of the back third there. He's got that real good distribution from that back third. Their strikers are playing high and wide as well, which will stretch the back four of the Melbourne City.
We've had all types of weather in Melbourne today, and that shouldn't surprise you if you lived in or have ever visited Victoria, but you can see the sun shining now. Severe thunderstorms, rain, hail. Some players took 2 hours to get here today from the CBD, and that's a trip that would normally take you 30 minutes. So
it's a privilege to actually be here now, considering the weather we dealt with. I mean, you and I spoke 2 hours to get here from the city, so absolutely crazy. And I'm dressed for something, so bad decision on my behalf.
It's still relatively warm, as you can see the sun coming through, but some storm clouds off to the right of us as well. For the moment, Adam Gardner with the free kick for Hume City. They've got plenty of numbers forward. Gardner whips it into the far post. It was just a bit heavy. I think he might have been trying to look for that ball around the far post. And Josh Bingham was making the run at number 9. Here's Curtis Good. Melbourne City dispossessed in the midfield. Because Norbo wouldn't be happy with that, giving the ball away. He's the young keeper for Hume. What a big night it is for him. 17 years of age. Lucas Trenkovski just turned 17.
Great feat for him, but he does not look 17 at all.
He's a big boy, isn't he?
Watched him doing the warm-up, his composure, his distribution. It's a great challenge for him, but look at his maturity here.
He made his debut for Hume in the FFA Cup 3 weeks ago against Port Melbourne. Did an outstanding job that night, and Nick Hegarty, the coach, former player here at Hume, spoke to him earlier today and he said he's got full confidence in him and wants to put him on the big stage because that's how players learn, and hope he has a positive experience tonight. He might have some work to do here. Raphael working his way through. Is it a penalty? It is. The keeper will have some work to do there. A sloppy challenge there by Lazaridis, and Raphael wins the penalty for Melbourne City.
Unfortunate there, he actually had him held up, but it was actually a poor touch from the player that did him initially. But those second phases, if you ever get in front of a player in the box there, you've got to delay and actually get back ball side, and he didn't do that. So a bit clumsy. But let's see what the young boy's got him.
Yeah, I thought that Lazaridis had almost done enough because Raphael's touch took him wide.
Yeah, exactly.
He probably didn't need to make that challenge.
No, spot on. Delayed, step back in, show him outside the game as well. Probably a bit rash.
All right, well, here's the first opportunity of the evening. Marco Tilio will be the man to take the responsibility. No Jamie McLaren tonight. He's here in the grandstand. Here's Tilio against Trenkovski, the 17-year-old. Tilio strikes and he misses. Hume survived for the moment. He misses the target completely. The keeper went the right way, but that's a lifeline for Hume City.
I'm just watching the gaffer here, Paddy Cosnorbo. He's not impressed at all in terms of the technique. Obviously, right-footed player decided to take it on his opposite side there. Crucial decision. The gaffer will not be happy.
So he took it on his left.
Took it on his opposite side. So interesting technique.
Didn't worry Tony Vidmar. No. Tony Vidmar famously took the penalty to get Australia to the World Cup, or one of them that got Australia to the World Cup in 2005 with his non-preferred foot, with his left foot.
There's a time.
Perhaps he'd been watching the documentary.
No, time and place. Young play, you do the basics well consistently, and that will keep you in the team. That lifts your profile. You get the trust of the manager as well. He's got to score. He's got to do it the right way. Speaking
of Socceroos, it was great to see Aziz Bayic's dad here tonight. I had a good chat to him earlier. Obviously a big part of the Turkish community here in Melbourne, and Hume City a big part of that community. And great to see their fans out in big numbers tonight.
I was just about to say that what an outlet for this community up here at the stadium. The fans here, you can hear them from the commentary box over here singing away. There was a flare before the game. It's all kicking off over there.
And the weather gods are smiling on us for now.
Oh no, what have you done?
I won't.
Michael, what have you done?
Griffiths with the clearance. Good chasing back there by Josh Bingham to put some pressure on and forcing the ball over the line for a throw in.
You know, it's quite funny, irrespective of the penalty, he's been quite balanced. You know, Hume have actually looked at more balanced in terms of build-up. Obviously no penetration yet, but fairly even game. Two different structures in terms, you can see Hume now not really affecting the centre-back at all, dropping off into that compact mid-third, but you know, very dangerous on the counter-attack as well. So if you can see here, Mitch Cooper's body position, he actually wants them to play through the middle of the pitch instead of forcing them outside. You can see his angle of approach, wants them to play back. So they're trying to funnel them into the middle of the pitch where they'll have that extra number.
So Nick Hegarty would be pretty pleased with what he's seen so far. A little bit of luck to avoid that penalty.
And that's exactly what I was talking about there. Leaving a centre-back in clear possession, making sure they play through the middle of the pitch and looking to win that ball in the middle of the pitch. But you're right, the gaffer there, Nick Hegarty, will be buzzing at the start.
Here's Tillio, who'd like to make amends. Good challenge from Gardner. Had to be clean because he was coming from behind. Here's Leckie. Haven't seen much of the Socceroo, Matt Leckie, in the early stages. Raphael. Lesiotis. That's an easy one for the young keeper to take unchallenged. Trent Kopke.
Poor outcome, really clear possession in this right area. Back four of Hume are sitting so deep, you should just rotate the ball and look to penetrate for a lot more patience.
You often see, Lesiotis there. Didn't really have anyone on him, did he, Scott? You want to be able to find a target with that type of cross.
Well, as you said, you made a great point there. If there is no one committing to him, you must drive the gap because that will encourage a first press, which therefore creates this more space behind. It's amazing how players don't recognise the time and space in front of them.
Yeah. Might hear the humming of a generator in the background too. That's all part of the glamour and the romance of the FFA Cup. Extra lighting brought in for tonight.
So see the shape here of Hume, this 4-2-3-1. It's actually forcing, and they're not penetrating the centre-back here at all. They're really delaying the press, and they'll look to engage in this mid-third.
Here's some space now for Raphael. Decides to take it on himself. He did have Cucciarelli ahead of him. Wins the throw-in. Cucciarelli from the same area of Italy, town of Prato, which is where Alessandro Diamanti is from, and they know each other quite well, so Cucciarelli and Diamanti have reacquainted themselves since being back in Melbourne.
Long lunches, I'd suggest.
Wow, no, they're professionals. No long lunches.
And have fun. Reconnect.
No wine.
You know, watching the build-up there, Paddy Kisnorbo will be disappointed with the lack of patience they're showing. They're playing against an NPL one side. You'd want them to dominate possession in the attacking half. I'm sure at half-time you might just really break the possession down and suggest just rotate it more and put some more pressure on here.
Not sure the conditions stay as they are. This is perfect for football. The sun setting in the background. The kickoff was delayed by half an hour, if you're wondering, tonight because of an electrical storm which hit Melbourne late this afternoon. Chieng, who's scored that goal against Port Melbourne, just a bit heavy on the pass there. Risky from Griffiths, but he trusted his teammate, Lesiotis.
Did very well playing out.
Otis moved it along quickly. Stokes, now Pucciarelli to Raphael. Shrugs off his opponent. Lazaridis runs into 3 shirts. Raphael gives away the free kick. Get the close eye on Pucciarelli tonight, playing in a number 10 role. Spoke to him pre-season and he spoke about the different roles he's played in his career. Can play on the wing and play in that number 10 role. So tonight with Florent Berenguer not starting, this is a chance for Patrick Kisnorbo to see what he's got in that role. And at this stage, obviously, second choice, because Berenguer's had a great start to the season. But a good option to have.
Yeah, listen, great flexibility. Having a player that can come inside and get the awareness and the tactical understanding is the most important playing as that second striker. Finding space, creating space for others as well.
That one too high for Pucciarelli. Patiently worked out of defence. It's a dangerous ball. Fowler does well under pressure. Fends off the challenge. Then a difficult one for Gardner. Couldn't control it, so a chance for City, but headed away by the captain Hayden Tennant. He's one of the centre backs. Here's Ochieng. Really busy period for Melbourne City over the next few weeks. They've got midweek games coming thick and fast. Adelaide on Saturday night, of course, with that 2-2 draw against Adelaide United. This fixture tonight, followed by the A-League men's competition on Saturday with a home game against Western United. And then they back up again next Wednesday against Perth Glory in the A-League men's competition.
Players love this one. Games upon games, limited recovery time, more games, big retention, big squad rotation as well really supports that. But, all players love games throughout the season.
Should they get through this fixture tonight, there'll be another midweek fixture coming before Christmas for the FFA Cup. It's a busy year for them, and as you said, they love it. They've also got Asian Champions League coming up at the end of the A-League men's season. Here's Tilio now. Great to watch when he's running with the ball at his feet, isn't he, Tilio? Couldn't execute the pass on that occasion. But they'll get another chance here, Melbourne City, through Pucciarelli. Raphael. Tilio. Now, Raphael. Pucciarelli with a great ball in. And there is the first goal. Matthew Leckie, as easy as you like for the Socceroo. He won't miss from there, the number 7. And a terrific build-up play involving the Italian and the Socceroo Matt Leckie.
No, you're spot on. Great excitement, buzzing with that, but you could see it. The overload on one side, 3v2. I was waiting for that forward pass to be played in behind that fullback there, and the minute it was, you could see the opposite striker making that forward run, and Leckie was not going to miss from there.
Well, we're talking about getting an insight into what the number 20, Pucciarelli, was capable of. He really was the metronome that got that move going.
That's a difficult thing, because a lot of players in that final third, they rushed that execution of that pass, but he got his head up, he took his time. But on the flip side, Nick Hegarty will be looking at the structure of his team there. Not enough ball pressure, and obviously didn't close the man down with that overload. So, you know, back in the game, obviously, they've got a second chance at it, but you just think the momentum might now shift in favour of Melbourne City.
Yeah, wonderfully worked goal by Melbourne City to take the advantage here. Raphael, Pucciarelli, Leckie, all involved in the build-up play.
You know, it's interesting now, just looking at Pucciarelli there in terms of where his starting positions are. I can hear the gaffer there, Paddy Kisnorbo, asking him to drop off the back four and finding that space, standing in between fullbacks and wide players, because he encourages the fullback to get high, as you can see, once again, with his overload.
Great to have the insights of Scott Miller on commentary tonight. It's Curtis Good now with the long ball. Looking for Raphael. Lazaridis cut it out. Here's Cooper for Hume. Nice touch. And Cooper wins the free kick.
Mitch has made massive steps. He was with me at Newcastle, and over the last 3 or 4 years I've watched him carefully. You know, he's got a lot stronger in his body type, and he's a key player for this squad.
That'll be an easy one for Tom Glover to mop up. No risk there from the Melbourne City keeper.
And I'd like to see both teams, you know, obviously game style is one thing, but there's a lot of space in that midfield, and teams are going very long and direct at the moment instead of finding those midfielders on the half turn in between the lines.
There's Lesiotis trying to win advantage. He loses that little battle. It might be a Wednesday night in the round 16 of the FFA Cup, but looking at Patrick Kisnorbo, you wouldn't know it. It's like he's in an A-League men's grand final.
He's thinking bigger picture as well. Obviously, they want to progress, but he needs his team to start really functioning at a high level. You know, obviously, drop points on the weekend. He'll want to rectify that as well. But driving this team, you know, the motivator as the head coach. You need to drive the team irrespective of the competition.
Nice switch of play. So we do win the free kick through the captain, Matthew Leckie. So I should say Austin Griffiths is the captain. Just out of habit, because Matthew Leckie is captain of the Socceroos. From time to time, he has been.
He's a bit taller. There we go. That's that pocket we're talking about. Just dropping in between the midfielders, encouraging that overload on one side. Very, very intelligent.
Just giving out some advice to young Raphael. Raphael, another youngster, just 17 years of age. Great learning experience for him to play alongside the likes of Leckie and Pucciarelli this evening. I'm sure his dad's watching tonight. Cristiano, great player in the A-League with Adelaide United. If he's not here, that is.
Just looking at City's build-up here. What a privilege it is to have Griffith's experience in the centre back there. Just control the tempo of the game. Natural holding midfielder playing in there can really dictate the play.
Bingham passes it forward. Thought they might have had a free kick there. Bernarda, shoulder to shoulder, play on was the call. Leckie wins front position. The deflection comes off his opponent, so it's a throw in for Melbourne City. Melbourne City have the lead if you just joined us, courtesy of Matthew Leckie. Pucciarelli, terrific ball forward for Raphael. Can he control it? Difficult one, bouncing high. In the end, Hume, with the additional numbers, clear the danger. Stokes miscontrols it. Cooper tries to play the pass quickly. Curtis Good read it. And in the end, did rush his clearance, so Hume will get a chance to build up again.
At that moment in time, he was an experienced player, Cooper. In terms of the attack was on, but his team's stretched. There's no support in that situation there. City are high, but the goalkeeper's connecting to the game as well. Maybe it might just be an alternative. Rotate that ball, get some possession, bring the heart rate down and play through.
Muka. Too well to intercept. Here's Griffiths. Now out wide. Close. Leckie will take the throw. Those Hume fans will continue singing all night, beating the drums, waving the flags. Creating a great atmosphere here at ABD Stadium. this round of 16 fixture in the FFA Cup. The winner, of course, progressing to the quarter-final, where there will be a draw occurring in ensuing weeks. Lots of other games happening across the FFA Cup. You can catch all the action on 10 play this evening. Melbourne Victory also in action tonight. Here's Pucciarelli. Now Raphael again. It was the combination that created the first goal, those two. This time Raphael tried to take it on himself on the left and skewed the shot to the near post.
You know, we're actually starting to see trends of Melbourne City's system here, playing down the left-hand side on occasions, but Paddy Gaznobo shouting out to Pucciarelli, hold your space off the build-up on the opposite side of the build-up side, and you can actually see him delaying that. He's really coaching him from the sideline as well, looking to get the ball to his feet on the opposite side of the build-up where he can be more effective.
Apologies if you've got some issues with the audio this evening. We're trying to rectify those, but continue with Lazaridis here for Hume. Here's Bowler. Nice ball forward. Just a little bit too much on it. Josh Bingham made a great run, and he couldn't control it in the end.
Great vision by Bowles there. Fantastic run from the striker on shoulders. Very unfortunate not to bring that down in the box.
Curtis Good with a short ball. Kamulka. Tilio fouled, and a free kick for Melbourne City.
I'm impressed with Hume so far. Their defensive organisation, being very patient, leaving the centre backs, but more importantly, their aggression in that mid-third, really engaging and winning that ball. It will only take one, especially we were talking before the game, where teams are the most dangerous is when they've got the ball because they're in build-up phase. So if Hume have a bit more luck on transition, they could actually create more chances.
Heavy on the first touch from Pucciarelli. It allowed Lazaridis in. Thrown for Hume. They trail 1-0.
Look at the shape of this here. They'll look to come out and hit watching on the opposite side.
Nice work.
Good effort.
Not a bad effort from range. Yeah, he was dipping. It just needed to be on target. And in these sort of conditions with the wind swirling around, Josh Bingham had to take the shot from there. Here's an opportunity now for Melbourne City to clear it beautifully. Bose to Good, now Griffiths. Stokes, patient this time. Now the forward ball for Tilio. Again, heavy on the touch. And that's the sort of stuff that they really need to get right.
No, he's got to be better. He's got to be better. That's 2 or 3 times he's turned the ball over. But more importantly, I'm just looking at Lesiotis' starting position there. He's slightly too high. He can drop off and find space in that mid-third box and get on the half turn and then look to play forward, as opposed to Tilio coming short all the time.
So here's another chance. Tilio looking to receive. Ochieng with the clearance for Hume. Look at the bench for Patrick Gaznobo tonight. Plenty of firepower there. Scott Jamieson, Nuno Reis, Andrew Naboot, Max Caputo, who we saw make his debut, another young player for Melbourne City. Luke Aresti and Anon Suleimani 16-year-old from the Dandenong Thunder. What an opportunity for him if he gets a chance tonight.
That's what I love about the A-League at the moment. The volume of young players that are getting opportunities. You know, the last 4 or 5 years you haven't seen it as much, but it's such a focus now for everyone. So, you know, young kids have got the aspiration to continue their career.
Good chasing there from Pucciarelli. That would please Kisnorbo. Bowler plays it out to Ochieng. That's well done from Bernarda. And now Bingham. This is promising from Hume. Ochieng plays a great ball in to the area. Lazaridis swings the right boot at it. That was good build-up by the home side. Lawton. Tricky one for Cooper. Pucciarelli can't get through.
Great play, well played.
It falls now for City. Well played by Lesiotis, now Raphael. And that's a throw in to Hume. Hume got the breeze at their backs. We saw the shot from Bingham earlier from range. He's travelled the distance. Here's Tennant, the captain. We're seeing all sorts of colours in the sky tonight, aren't we, Scott? It's spectacular. Mother Nature.
I'm now holding on to the gap with you.
The wind's picking up. And the free kick here for Melbourne City. Pucciarelli just directing traffic. Too far out for a direct attempt, especially given he's now going to take this one into a stiff breeze.
Well, if you look at the height they've got in the box there as well, they've only put 3 players up, so I would suggest they're going to play short, continue the build-up, stretch the back 4, start again. Much better decision.
Lesiotis has had a busy last 10 minutes in the midfield. Former Melbourne Victory player as well.
See, these are the key areas. He needs to get on the ball now on the half turn. Griffiths is obviously stepping in, makes it difficult for him, but he needs to play that early, be more commanding in terms of his personality in there as well. Half turn, next line, key pass in between fullbacks.
That almost came unstuck for them too. Griffiths.
Dangerous.
Bingham was doing his job and providing the press. Here's Raphael in some space again. Here's Pucciarelli on his right. That's where he goes.
And you can see by him standing in that pocket there inside the fullback's got a decision. Does he mark the outside threat of the wide player or does he engage narrow? And he narrows up, which always means the wide player is free.
Griffiths tries the direct route this time and too long to Pucciarelli. Tricky one for Griffiths. He just got his toenail on it.
Dangerous.
He needed to. Raphael. Dangerous ball. Lesiotis. A little bit of panic setting in. Griffiths with the cool head. Played it back to Glover.
No, these conditions have changed in the last couple of minutes. You can see the impact the wind's having. It's making it very difficult for City to play out through that back third with any confidence.
Yeah, the wind has certainly picked up and changed the direction a little bit too. Free kick here for Melbourne City again. But Hume doing a terrific job. They're in this contest.
Yeah, I'm impressed. The way they're setting up with the ball, they're not afraid to play. I think the manager might want them to play a little bit shorter through that mid-third and just retain possession for a little bit longer period of time.
Now Griffiths with the piercing ball. Raphael made the run. It's the second time he tried that just in the last couple of minutes, just looking for something different to mix it up. It's a low percentage.
It is a low percentage. You see how deep Hume are in that position there. It has to be pinpoint. Obviously, it's very challenging, but you look at the other options he's got there. Drawing defenders out, potentially driving with the ball another 5-10 yards to encourage that first press that will create that extra space behind them.
Bingham with the flick on for Cooper. He's got 3 to beat here, Cooper. And Curtis Good did the job well.
Yeah, great covering position. You see him slide over there, gave that extra cover, and obviously cleaned up really confidently.
Here's Bose now to his keeper. It's like something out of an apocalypse tonight, isn't it? Even look at the skyline.
To our left, sunset. Right, as you said, apocalypse. It's madness. It really is.
Red, blue, black in the skies above ABD Stadium this evening. Melbourne has thrown up everything today. Curtis Good. He told me earlier it took him almost 2 hours to get here tonight from his place.
Wow.
I think they were worried there might be a few fines handed out in the dressing room as well. Obviously, they have to make it here by a certain time and threw everyone out today, the weather. Here's Pucciarelli. Raphael. Now Raphael again into the near post. Leckie with a chance for a second. Cannons off the bar. They're appealing that it may have gone over the line. But that, once again, Matthew Leckie making a terrific run. And once again, on that right-hand side, a terrific delivery.
Oh, awesome delivery, but what about the instincts of the young goalkeeper there? Superb save, point blank. Probably didn't know anything about it, but managed to bring it off. But more importantly, I love the collective defending at the time when the ball went to ground there. You saw 2 or 3 key players around the ball stopping that from going in. Unfortunate for City there. Great fortune for Hume.
Lucas Trenkovski, the 17-year-old. In goals tonight for Hume. I need to hold on here, Hume, and not concede another before half-time.
You know, just watching Tilio, that's what I love seeing him. Receiving the ball in the half turn, driving the gap and encouraging that and making those key passes in between fullbacks. The more we see of that, the more City will benefit.
Stokes and Lesiotis. Here's Kieran Stokes, who has A-League experience under his belt as well last season. Now Tilio. He's not quite in the groove tonight, Tilio.
No, it's pretty evident that long ball from centre back into the striker's not working. It seems to be quite too long in that situation there. City need to be playing through that mid-third, through their midfielders first.
Grabbed all the headlines, of course, Marco Tilio for that goal for the Olyroos at the Tokyo Olympic Games.
Electric. Great to watch.
Here's Lazaridis now with a chance for Hume. Just lost his step. Does manage to get a ball in. It's a great ball too. It needed to be nodded away. Jordan Boss was on the spot. But Hume, that was promising. Josh Bingham wasn't too far away, the striker.
No, they're in this game. You see they've been in the box about 3 or 4 times now with not clear-cut chances, but, you know, they're knocking on that door. They're definitely getting closer.
Corner now for the home side, Hume City. Bingham will be one of the targets. It's in his direction. Just a little too high. Have another chance here. Decide to go back. And rebuild Lazaridis. Cooper, that's a terrific ball by the keeper. Found his target now. Bowler. Lazaridis under pressure from Pucciarelli. Did well, Lazaridis. But then just missed the pass.
Yeah, final bit of quality. They obviously had Mitch Cooper high and wide here. In a 1v1 situation, he'll rue that decision. But the intensity's high. It's coming into half-time now. Players will be feeling it.
Bose. Lesiotis. Pucciarelli in, lots of space, calling for the ball.
Yeah, he's demanding it there. They're not rotating it quick enough on the opposite side of the build-up.
And they turn it over again. Here's another chance for Hume. This is Cooper. Oh. Cooper with the shot, first time. He had the right idea and he wasn't too far away. Terrific work from Hume City.
Awesome, awesome. I mean, if you're talking about game plan, very specific. You know, talking to Nick before the game, talking about showing them inside, winning that ball in the mid-third and breaking. That was perfection there.
Melbourne City just giving it away in the midfield too many times. I'm sure for the liking of their coach, Patrick Isnorbo.
Well, he needs his strikers to connect to midfield more. In terms of overloading midfield, Tilio dropping into midfield, shortening those passes from the centre-back. The conditions are playing havoc for the centre-backs and it's obviously not reaching those targets. Drop in, be more connected to your midfield and then rotate that ball.
What do you make of Tilio in that role? Almost like a false nine role tonight?
Yeah, playing on shoulders here. Where he is now, standing in that hole there, being that link-up, he can go on the half-turn or Tilio underneath as a little bouncer. Then they're out. See, just it's only 10, 15 yards, but actually brings the team collectively more engaged.
So Tilio starts this move. Pucciarelli and Raphael. Raphael running at the defence. Now Pucciarelli will have a chance to shoot here. Across the face. Lesiotis wins the header. Now Stokes for Melbourne City. Lesiotis. Here's Tilio. Tries to go it alone. Here's Mitch Cooper. I think in his first thought, Mitch Cooper was just to clear the danger.
Yep.
He didn't have much ahead of him.
Well, you look at the striker Bingham there. He is not the type of player that always spinning behind. That tall, strong striker that everyone plays off. He needs to understand who's playing up top. So you look at Tilio now dropping in on shoulders there. That will narrow up their centre-back, potentially get Matthew Leckie in behind that centre-back in the second phase.
Bose makes a run inboard. Ochieng is there to clear it. He's the captain for Hume, plays the square ball. He bowl. And now Curtis Good. Lesiotis. Well done by Lesiotis. In plenty of space, here's Raphael. Here's a great opportunity for Melbourne City to extend their lead. All of the near post. Raphael tries a second time. Well defended in the end by Hume. Here's Cooper. Not much ahead of him. Griffiths does well. Senses the danger. Nice touch by Pucciarelli.
Yeah, a bit casual.
Just to slow things down and reset.
Reset. Look at that. Get the breather. Everyone gets their starting positions. But I'm just looking at Raphael there. He had the chance to cut that back earlier, and Matthew Leckie had to change direction once again. If he hit that first time, Matthew Leckie, one touch finish.
So you want to see him execute the pass a touch earlier.
A little bit quicker. He made eye contact and actually delayed that pass to Matthew Leckie, and he had to readjust his second move.
Lightning off in the background as these isolated storms come through Melbourne today.
We could be at jeopardy.
It's a bit of concern. Of course, kickoff was delayed tonight for 30 minutes due to the storms in Melbourne. And there is the half-time whistle. An entertaining first half of football here at ABD Stadium. Melbourne City haven't had it all their own way. Hume City have put up terrific resistance and created some great chances themselves. Half-time here in the FFA Cup, round of 16 fixture. It's Hume City 0, Melbourne City 1. And we saw Raphael as well, really linking up well, those two.
Yeah, for sure. And it's very clear their tactical setup with Pucciarelli sitting in that pocket in between fullback, centre-back and holding midfielder. It's a great tactic. Obviously, you need a lot of patience playing that role because attacking midfielders always want to get on the build-up side, involved in that build-up phase. However, he wants him in that opposite pocket to give Lazaridis that decision to make. That being, do I step in and engage Pucciarelli in the pocket, or do I cover the wide player, Raphael, in that key area? And you see a lot of instances in the first half. You know, the goal in particular, they actually came from that side. That won't change necessarily unless he changes personnel, but it's very clear that he wants to transfer the ball through midfield very quickly to Pucciarelli in that pocket to expose space.
And before the goal was scored, of course, we saw Marco Tilio step up to the penalty spot, and curious decision by Tilio to take the penalty on his non-preferred side. He took it with his left and completely missed the target.
Yeah, unacceptable. Doesn't matter who you're playing, standards need to remain high, and he's had a fantastic year, and I'm not criticising the player. Personally, I'm suggesting that needs to be scored. The manager will reiterate that. You've got a responsibility playing as an attacking player. Jamie McLaren's not here. Jamie McLaren's sitting there going, okay, mate, well, you didn't score. My position is well and truly cemented for the weekend, and he needs to take his chances there. He can't just be about the half turn and you know, creating those chances. Getting yourself on the score sheet really elevates your profile.
And Hume, another great story tonight is the 17-year-old goalkeeper Lukas Trenkovski, who made a terrific save. You pointed it out from the other best chance that Melbourne City created. Again down that right-hand side, Matthew Leckie made the run, and Trenkovski stood his ground and point blank kept them 1-0.
Yeah, listen, reactionary saves with, a 17-year-old, as you keep saying. You'd imagine his reflexes would be pretty handy. But I'm actually really liking his assuredness with the ball. You can see their style of play. They like to play out from the back. They're not afraid to go back to a 17-year-old either, which is really encouraging. Looking to play out, spraying the ball. 3 or 4 examples in that first half where he played the opposite side, hitting March Oxing on the other side of the pitch there. And it's great to see. I love his build. I love his frame. He's obviously very assured. And, very encouraging for him moving forward.
All right, if you are Nick Higgerty in the change rooms right now at Hume City, coach, how do you approach this early part of the second half? Because at 1-0, you're very much still in the contest, but we know Melbourne City have got the fitness, they've got the nous to continue to build.
Yeah, well, you look at the two trends of the game. They've actually looked best when they get in the attacking half with the ball and demonstrate more patience. The time where they've looked poor is when Mitch Cooper's got on the half turn and he's actually tried to play direct very quickly. So the situation being, can they actually really find that ball in the half turn and play with more patience and purpose?
All right, we're going to take a short break and we'll be back with all the second half action from ABD Stadium right after this.
My name's Simon Hill and I'm going to be commentating the national teams and A-League and W-League for Channel 10 and Paramount Plus. What Australian football means to me is everything. I mean, I'm a newcomer to this country, relatively. I came here in 2003. It is a family. It's taken me into their hearts. And now I am evangelical about it. I want it desperately to succeed. And we know we've got a lot of work ahead of us, but we've got so much blue sky ahead. And I passionately believe in that. What excites me most is the fact that we have only just scratched the surface of our potential as a sport. When you look, just a few years ago, we had 60-odd thousand watching the Sydney Derby, 40-plus thousand watching a Melbourne Derby. We have full houses for grand finals, for Big Blues, for the Socceroos, for the Matildas. The fans are there. People love this sport in Australia. We belong, and we just got to make that connection to get the people who play the game and are passionate about it, maybe for their local club side or for their overseas team. We've got to get them involved with the A-League and the W-League, and we're going to do that. There are 2 big hurdles, I think, for the Socceroos on the road to Qatar. The first, obviously, is COVID, which could put a spoke in the wheel of playing home games. We hope that's not the case throughout the group stage, but that's going to be difficult. The group that we're in is very, very tough. We know about Japan, of course, and Saudi Arabia to a certain extent, But the other teams are going to be difficult as well. They're on the rise, particularly Vietnam, that have invested an awful lot of money in their football. And we don't really hear too much about it, but trust me, they're on the move. But are we good enough? Yeah, I think so. I'm going to steal two favourite Socceroos moments, if that's okay. First of all, the qualifier against Uruguay in 2005. That's not, and I've said this before, probably my personal favourite because I had a difficult night in the commentary box. But it was so important for the country, and really the game of football took off after that game on 16th of November 2005. It's imprinted into our heads, that date, which tells you all you need to know. The second one is the game against Japan in Germany. The Socceroos' first ever win at a World Cup finals. Timmy's 2 goals, John Aloisi's late strike. Just pure euphoria and mayhem. That's what football's about. It's brilliant. My prediction for season 21-22 in the A-League is that Melbourne Victory are going to be an awful lot better. Let's be honest, they have to be after the wooden spoon last year, and Tony Popovich certainly won't stand for that. So Victory will be on the rise. In the W League, similarly, I think Melbourne City had a very disappointing campaign by their very lofty standards last year. So I think they will be contenders again. So that's my prediction. A much better season for both halves of Melbourne. The beard, obviously. I mean, if Broski's not going to claim it, I am. What I'm most looking forward to being part of the team is being back inside football stadiums every weekend, COVID permitting, of course. I've missed that. It's been a big gap in my life to be around football people, to be around the game that I'm passionate about and love, and to be involved in it on a day-by-day basis. There's nothing like it. It's the best job in the world.
Welcome back to ABD Stadium. We're all set for the second half of this round of 16 fixture in the FFA Cup. Melbourne City up against Hume City at the home of Hume at ABD Stadium. 1-0 at half-time. Matthew Leckie, the goal scorer. A couple of changes for Melbourne City at the break. And it looks like Matthew Leckie is one of the players to make way. With the introduction of Andrew Naboot coming into the 11, and Nuno Reis also making his way onto the park. And Curtis Good, the other player substituted for Melbourne City. So a couple of handy players to be able to bring back in for Patrick Kisnorbo. Scott Miller joins me in commentary. Should be a terrific second half of football. This game still have plenty to play for both sides.
Yeah, listen, those substitutions are very attacking in a sense that, you know, they'll expect more ball control, more movement. Nabu will obviously add that threat in the attacking third, and Neres there just really dictating the tempo in the back third. On the ball a couple of times already, looking to move it quicker, looking to play into midfield.
Yeah, Nuno Reis, plenty of experience. He started that game on Saturday night as well against Adelaide United, which finished 2-2. Tommy Glover plays it out to Reis. Roston Griffiths returning from injury tonight after injuring his rib in that FFA Cup clash against South Melbourne a few weeks ago. Terrific run off the ball by Pucciarelli, who's been terrific so far. Was that a foul by the keeper? No, says the referee.
I'm just looking at the player's reaction there. It looks as if he knows it wasn't a foul. But talking about the build-up play there, look at Reyes there dictating tempo again. Key pass into midfield. Naboo's obviously going to bring that influence, but it's very clear that Reyes will be that first receiver and dictating tempo from the back third.
So a bright opening to the second half here at ABD Stadium. What a backdrop we have tonight here in Melbourne. Some extraordinary weather came through earlier, forcing the delay to kick off. But the fans here in terrific numbers, making plenty of noise.
That's better for Tilio, playing that platform striker, getting it back into the holding midfielder underneath.
So Lazaridis now for Hume, playing a terrific long ball forward for Bingham. He just couldn't control it. It was a difficult one, the long one, at full pace to control it. Just a heavy touch.
Really intelligent run. You see how he drifted on the back of the centre-back there. Very, very intelligent.
So we'll have a little break in play as the Medicos go out to Pucciarelli. No, it's not Pucciarelli.
No,
it's Lesiotis, yeah?
Yeah, Lesiotis. You know, he's a key player that Paddy Wilkins-Norwell would love to keep on the pitch. Getting that extra experience at this senior level, dictating that midfield, controlling tempo, but also getting on that ball and be a bit more creative.
Playing in that defensive midfield role.
Yeah. You know, it's challenging. You know, you're that first receiver in that mid-third. You need to be brave, getting on the ball all the time, showing in those spaces there, but also having the awareness to get on the half turn to play forward as well.
Of course, there are other FFA Cup matches tonight on 10 play. We'll keep you across the action. Wollongong Wolves and the Central Coast Mariners currently tied at 1-1. And Mark Birigidi, the Mariners keeper, sent off in that contest. So that one's going down to the wire. Wollongong Wolves, of course, coached by Luke Wilkshire, the former Socceroo, our colleague on Network 10 these days. Melbourne Victory also involved in action tonight against Adelaide City in their round of 32 fixture. That was 0-0 at half-time. So, coming off the ground, Anthony Lesiotis looks to be okay. We'll try and get back out there. So just calling over the doctor just to receive a little bit more attention. Play will resume, however. Ochieng with the throw in. They couldn't control it there. Gardner. They'll get another chance here through Bowler. Now Tennant, the captain, back to his keeper. Trenkovsky, his distribution's been terrific as well.
Yeah,
the young
fantastic.
keeper.
It's really clear that we've spoken about at half-time. They're actually leaving 5 up against a back 4 of City, which will really stretch them, trusting the centre-backs with the ball there, obviously skipping their midfield and really trying to expose that space in behind quickly.
Here's Boss. Bose. Bonada for Hume. Dispossessed. Lesiotis back on the park. Here's Raphael. Just allowed Tennant to come in and clear the danger for Hume.
Slight adjustment to how Hume are pressing in this this second half. They're really balancing off and forcing City down this left-hand side, getting a lot of ball pressure on Bose at that left full-back position. We've obviously identified him as a weakness at half-time and spoken about it.
Ellie Bowl in the middle for Hume. Couldn't maintain possession. This is Tilio. He has an option out on the right-hand side. That's where he goes. It's Andrew Naboot. He scored from this range on Saturday night.
Cracker.
I thought he might have thought to try it again.
I spoke to him before the game and he said, standard, Scotty, standard.
He scored 4 of them in his career with the outside of the boot. Spectacular. That will be in the voting, no doubt, for goal of the year this year. It was one of those goals that you're sitting right. I was fortunate enough to be at the stadium, Scott, and you're sitting behind it, and as soon as he hit it, you knew it was going in the top corner.
It was his trademark at training at Newcastle as well, I remember it. First couple of days he arrived, he was putting them in the top corners, and I was like, wow, here we go. But to do it on the stage in league games is phenomenal. Great to watch.
Once again, Trenkovski with the long ball. This time, Andrew Naboot was aware.
You know, you're talking about work rate of players. You look at Andrew Naboot there. Obviously, he's involved in the build-up, but works back, doubling up on one side there, transfer pass, gets back, wins it, retains possession. High work rate.
Here he is, the Socceroo Andrew Naboot. Pucciarelli now back. Lesiotis to Griffiths. As lightning strikes in the background of APD Stadium. Here's Bose. Now Raphael. Tilio. Lesiotis, first time ball for Tilio was good. Now they move it along quickly. Pucciarelli to Naboot. Promising again here for Melbourne City. Naboot with the shot. Well saved by the keeper. Stood his ground. Trenkovski. But that's the sort of stuff that Kisnorbo will want to see more of.
Yeah, for sure. You see them, they're building up down the left-hand side. Tilio drops his shoulder, cuts inside, but Naboo's really disciplined in that role there. He's holding his space. He's timing his run. I actually thought Pucciarelli's ball was a bit too short. He could have left a little bit on it, which meant Naboo's first touch would have been beyond the player, but you can see there's clear structure there.
Bingham wins it. Now Cooper, and it's a free kick for Hume. Yellow card. Dished out, Melbourne City.
You know, you look at the first half, the set piece Hume had where they overhit it. They would have spoken about this at half-time. 1-0 down. Crucial moments in games need high levels of execution. So it'll be interesting how they set up. You'll see a number of their strikers will actually start off in the offside position, which will force City to start in a deeper position.
Burhan Iliwol, central defender, making his way up forward, one of the targets. Josh Bingham. Hayden Tennant finding some space
that will cause
at the
concern.
back post. There he is. Goes to the near post though, not a bad ball. And it was flicked on. That was promising.
Now that's the delivery we're looking for. That in-swinger gives the goalkeepers really tough problems to deal with, but then, you know, really challenging for centre-backs who are going back towards their own goal as well, not to actually put it in their own net.
Bernardo it was with the touch at the near post. Another chance here for Hume. Well worked again. Cooper tried to cut it back. Didn't quite come off, but they maintained possession.
No, Hume are growing into this game. You can see it. Obviously, the influence of the wind is playing a different emphasis on this now.
Too long for Ochieng. Kisnorbo barking out instructions.
Yeah, he wants more pressure on the ball carrier. They're not getting up to the ball at time, and they're actually dropping too deep in situations as well. Lesiotis.
Oh, dispossessed. Trouble. Almost. Lots of pressure. Here's Bingham for Hume. Here's a great chance for Hume. In the end, Desperate defending from Melbourne City averted the danger, but that was one of their best chances of the evening.
Yeah, they deserve more than that.
Here's Naboot on the counter.
Good
he was
foul.
fouled from behind, and a coach would say it's a good foul.
Oh, it's a great foul. Slow down. Obviously, they can now recoup.
Says the coach.
Yeah, listen, standard there. But, just going back to the attempt there, City's obviously philosophy, play out from the back, great. Timing is also very important, but Lesiotis, the lack of understanding he demonstrated, his speed of mindset to move the ball quicker and more awareness of where he could have actually turned out. But very unfortunate.
Up until that point, Anthony Lesiotis has been very assured on the ball. He's looked really clean and really crisp, but he got caught out there.
He did. No, he's doing very well. I think it's just in terms of a coach's expectations. You want your centre midfielder really dictating it, and it would be great to see him grow for the remainder of this game because he has got a great talent.
Right, so here's an injury concern for Melbourne City.
Yeah, Paddy won't like the look of that. That's one of his stars.
Andrew Naboot's just come on at half-time. He has had a lot of injuries over the last couple of seasons. Obviously picked up that injury at the World Cup when he went over to the 2018 World Cup and was the starting striker for the Socceroos under Bert van Marwijk. Yeah, this looks like it's a foot problem. He's limping off. They won't risk him from here, I don't think. They can't afford to. Free kick in the meantime will be taken as Andrew Naboot seeks attention and some treatment out on that far side. He does make his way back on. Well, if there's any danger, they're going to say, come off, and we'll treat it. So
big game on the weekend, real.
And it's a long season
player. Yeah, for sure.
So
it just depends who they've got on the bench. Have they got more attacking players there? Comes down to the balance, but he'll need his game time as well. I heard him talking about fitness.
Here's Tilio to the far post. Ochieng can't reach it. Pucciarelli was there, and the Italian couldn't keep it down.
Yeah, very deliberate set piece there. Pucciarelli dropping off, spinning around the back there. Well played. Well played.
1-0 here, Melbourne City, as we approach the hour mark. Some other games across the screens of 10 tonight and 10 play. Central Coast Mariners have just taken lead over the Wollongong Wolves, 2-1 now. And Melbourne victory tied at 0-0 early on in the second half against Adelaide City. Here's Bingham now for Hume. Another terrific opportunity here. He plays a terrific ball for Cooper.
What a chance.
And that is their best chance of the night. Brilliantly worked by Hume. And Mitch Cooper had the goal mouth at his mercy, and he couldn't find the target.
I think it was Lazaridis there. I can't quite see it clearly, but that left foot pass for Bingham making that forward run, outstanding. And then the vision for Bingham to cut back. Obviously, Mitch Cooper marginally missed. Great ball.
Couple of concerning signs for Melbourne City here in the second half. Now Raphael could make it two. Terrific save. Stuck the foot out. Trankovsky. I reckon that was goal bound. He did well to stand his ground.
Yeah, for sure. You can see the balance and rhythm of the game now. It's actually changed a lot more end-to-end. I see Nick Hegarty talking about the recovery mode of his team as well. He's seeing players working hard, playing forward, but he wants them working harder the opposite way now.
Ochieng. He has a goal in him, Mark Ochieng. Spectacular player. Capable of the spectacular.
Yeah, definitely.
We've seen it at A-League level and we've seen it at NPL level.
Bingham's movement off the centre-backs is very, very good. You see him spinning in, coming short, opposite movement, and making that forward running behind.
Here's Naboot, who's recovered okay from that knock. Gardner couldn't control it, opening the door for Tilio. Gardner tries to track back. Tilio avoids the challenge. Now Tilio squares it up, and plenty of red shirts there. Ochieng with the final touch.
We talk about young players a lot, about talent being one thing. but then final third execution drives coaches mad. The ability to get past 2 or 3 players is there, but that final ball, that's where good players become great players. Seeing that final ball making a difference on match day. That's going to be his biggest challenge over the next 12 months, making sure these assists actually come to fruition.
And these are golden opportunities for him to do so, isn't it?
Yep.
These are the type of games where he starts, he plays 90 minutes.
Yeah, well, we're both fans of the young player. There's no doubt about it, but it's just that added value that teams look at. And he'll get there, there's no doubt, with coaching and more game time he'll get there. But you just want to see a little bit more at times.
Corner here for Melbourne City. Griffiths almost got there. Nuno Reis sweeps up. Now Bose. Stokes to Reis. Nuno Reis come on at half-time. For the other substitute, Andrew Naboot couldn't quite get there. Well cut out by Lazaridis, only as far as Tilio, who tries a shot on goal. And that's an easy one for the 17-year-old keeper. Ochieng. Gardner back to Lawton, former Melbourne victory man. Well, they're right in this, Hume.
Yeah, they're in it. And fitness as well hasn't played a part yet. Has not played a part. They're still intense. They're still moving around. They're still finding space. I'd like to see Bowler get on the ball here a lot more in this pocket and play through that mid-third with a bit more progressive.
Well, they've been preparing for this one, training for 10 weeks.
Wow.
Here's Raphael with the shot. Well saved by Trinkovski. They had a game 3 weeks ago, of course, in the round of 32 against Port Melbourne, which they won 3-1. But a difficult preparation, given there's no competitive games.
Yeah, that's not easy, Michael. You know, working full-time and obviously training at night as well and getting together as a team. This won't be 4 or 5 times a week like City. So, yes, there's sort of pros and cons of it. City are only into the season 2 or 3 weeks, but, you know, they're doing themselves very proud now. And it wouldn't surprise me if they jag a goal at some point.
Hume have a big week ahead of them as well. They've got the final of the Doherty Cup coming up on Sunday against Avondale. Melbourne City about to make a substitution. It'll be the Italian making way, Pucciarelli. And coming on, another man with an Italian surname, Luca Resti,
I'll
young
leave those ones
Italian boy.
You're the expert.
Young Australian boy with an Italian surname.
Love it, love it.
What did you make of Pucciarelli? The first time we've seen him.
Yeah, interesting. I know Paddy saw some challenges initially, I think positionally. You could see him wanting to either drop too deep or play too high, and then he actually really worked out his position in that first half. Effective player. It'll just come down to where he plays. Is he a winger or is he that second striker? But he's versatile. So
here's the substitute, Oresti, straight into the action. And his shot hits the side netting.
Great impact.
Very good. Another one of these young players that's come through.
Looks youthful, mobile, aggressive as well.
Great to see Patrick Isnorbo giving these young players an opportunity in competitive football. Very hard side to break into, this Melbourne City side. Lazaridis has been good on that left-hand side for
He's
for
impressed
Hume.
me tonight. He really has. His distribution at times can be slightly better. But, you know, his aggressiveness in terms of stepping into midfield and driving with the ball at his feet has been really, really positive.
So City play it out. And there's some space. Look at the space opening up here now for Bose. Now Raphael cuts it inside. And that's a disappointing ball. There's no one there within range.
Yeah, it seemed no one made that forward run across the edge of the 6-yard box. You look at Tilio, he was hanging out the box. Do we need a little platform in there to play off? Probably.
Aristi, the substitute, just 18 years of age, so another one of those youngsters we spoke about. As Hume City prepare to make their first substitutions of the evening. Paul Quoll will be the first one. In the meantime, here's Andrew Naboot. Works his way into the area. Oh, and that was easy enough for Lucas Trenkovski, the goalkeeper, at the near post. So Nick Hegarty goes to his bench. And it'll be a double change. Paul Quoll and Lachlan Wheeler.
Looks like Mitch Cooper's left us for Quoll.
Quoll, I think, spent some time at Dandy Thunder as well. Looking forward to seeing his influence on the game. Ochieng has 2 to beat. Bose. Now back to Griffiths. Still just the 1 goal separating these two sides. Raphael plays it into space for Gamuka. It wouldn't be a local football match if someone has to move their vehicle. That's the announcement goes
it's
up.
Not your car, is it?
No, it's not.
Huh?
No, it's not.
Late arrival.
I got here early.
At the gate.
Yeah. Wonderful night here at ABD Stadium. The home fans here in big numbers. The grandstand on the other side, packed to the rafters.
You know, and actually quite an entertaining game as well. You know, Hume are doing a fantastic job at creating chances, trying to get back into this game. And what I've loved is they're playing against great opposition, but they haven't just sat back. They've looked to play, be aggressive in the final third.
Here's Raphael. Goes to his left-hand side this time. Oh, that's a terrific move by Raphael. He had everybody fooled because normally he'd go onto his right, back onto his left. Terrific shot, which struck the woodwork.
Yeah, incredible. That's probably the first time we've seen him, you know, be so decisive in that front third. So it's awesome to see. You know, it's challenging now. Hume, you may well just start to see those legs start to tire at this moment in time.
Bingham to Gardner. They've got a chance here, though. Back to Gardner. He wins it. He does really well there. Beats 2. Tries to go back to Gardner and he ran out of puff in the end. Griffiths with the clearance.
Yeah, as I say now, you can see Bingham struggling here. We see a player getting stretched to the calves here as well. So the physical fatigue now is setting in for Hume. So can they potentially just find another gear for the next 5-10 minutes and get back in this game?
Another substitution about to be made for Hume City. And it's Alex Walter who will be joining the fray. Joined mid-season last season from Tasmania. He's just come back from Tasmania, Nick Hegarty was telling me. After spending some time down there. Due to quarantine, he couldn't get here when they needed him, but good to see him back now and gets an opportunity in the final stages here tonight to impress himself on this contest.
So Nick's got a choice now. Does he, you know, change his system slightly? You know, you've obviously changed players, so you're changing the personnel. However, does he go to 3 at the back to overload midfielder or put another striker up to occupy those centre-backs? It'll be interesting to see what he does. However, if he continues this, Melbourne City look quite assured at times as well in terms of that back third defensive structure.
Gardner, who's been terrific, I think, for Hume tonight. He missed a lot of last season through injury. Aidan Gardner just coming back, and you can see the importance of the number 6 for Hume in their midfield.
Yeah, he gets through a mountain of work, retaining that possession, rotating it, getting them back on the offence.
Tennant, the captain, back to the youngster, the goalkeeper, who's done a terrific job so far tonight. Trenkovski.
He's been impressive. Look at this, just the touch and awareness. He knows his next parts, giving depth into the 6-yard box, communicating. Real positive signs.
Good tracking back there by Raphael too. That pleases the coach.
Yeah, that's one thing Paddy will not allow. Drop off in standards and tempo.
Still 1-0 here. It's just under 20 minutes to go. Hume right in this contest. Round of 16 FFA Cup match. We hope you're enjoying it on 10 Play. Huge schedule for Melbourne City over the next few weeks, with midweek fixtures coming thick and fast. A win tonight would add another one to that fixture list. Saturday night, of course, they're in action. Qual comes in. One of his first touches. Got to the byline. Just couldn't get enough shape on that back, cut the ball back. Get an angle on it.
They're in this game. They're creating chances. And it's not just back third build-up. They're actually really progressing, getting into that final third as well. Certainly playing down those channels, going quite direct as well.
It's a miscue from Glover. It could fall fortuitously for Tilio, and he flicks it over to Raphael. Plenty of room to work with Raphael. Plays a short ball to Gamulka. And now Bose. Lesiotis gives it away. Here's Bowler. And that's a long clearance for Bingham, who was offside, so he decided not to contest that one. Full time in the other fixture. Wollongong 1, Central Coast 2. So the Central Coast Mariners progress. And still 0-0 between Adelaide City and Melbourne Victory. It's a player down behind play. Qual. Play continues. Naboot uses that big frame. The flag goes up on the far side, and his assistant says that's a foul. He's a big man, Andrew Naboot.
Oh, he's a beast. But, you know, it was funny. Qual got taken out earlier by Tilio, and the ref didn't call it up. And I was...
You thought it was a foul?
Oh, guaranteed. I thought it was a foul. It was interesting. But, yeah, back to Naboot. He's works very hard. Works very hard.
And terrific attendance here at ABD Stadium tonight. We spoke about the weather conditions today and everything that Melbourne has thrown at us. 2,148 here to see their side, Hume City, up against Melbourne City, the champions of the A-League men's competition. Fantastic. Another special night in the FFA Cup.
Yeah, people really value and rate this competition, don't they? I mean, having been a coach at Newcastle and obviously at Langwarrin now, the ability to play these big teams as a smaller club in a different league is awesome.
It's a great ball by Gamulka. He splits open the defence. Andrew Naboot now has an opportunity to make it to Raphael at the far post. His header over the crossbar. Wasn't the easiest of balls for Raphael to score from, was it?
No, it was pretty difficult. It's so evident. That's Naboot for you. Pace and power behind that fullback.
Does he need to play that along the turf?
I actually thought he would have played it earlier. I've seen him played earlier in the past and in between the centre-back and goalkeeper. And as you said, on the turf.
Here's Qual. Tennant.
That's a great pass.
Bingham. Now watching. Lawton. Nice build-up by Hume. Patience. Ochieng. Now whips it in. An opportunity here inside the area. 50-50 ball. Who did it come off? The red shirt says Lockie Keever's the referee. So a goal kick to Melbourne City.
Yeah, and you see this is the difference now. Players from Hume are starting to go down. Cramp, fatigue. You know, the tempo is obviously going to increase in the last 5 or 10 minutes, and City will retain possession a lot more, you would assume, so they'll have to press a lot more. I'm impressed with his right-hand side. Mark Elching there, you know, really building up patience. However, we had an opportunity to get on the half-turn. He came short, you know, being a bit more braver and having that awareness. Getting on the half-turn, he's driving their back four.
Well, they've still got their work cut out for them. Melbourne City tonight, this game still in the balance. Brad Lawton told to come back on. Here's Nuno Reich. Raphael has Ochieng right at his heels.
Yeah,
and well done from the former Adelaide United man.
Been a good battle this side in the second half. Raphael, Oching, really dynamic players, one-on-one. One capable of going beyond the other.
Nice
one
ball
sticking to
by
his goal.
Lysiotis. First time by Naboot. Tilio. Desperate. Right on the penalty spot. Couldn't make connection. Right idea from Andrew Naboot. Playing that first time ball to split open that defence.
Such a dangerous pass, isn't it? You know, in between that centre back.
Here's another chance. Well managed by Tennant that time. Quoll up for the header. Ball in dispute in the midfield. Weir.
Well competed.
And now Bingham. They've got numbers going forward here. Hume. Quoll provides the support. Gardner. Ochieng. Can they find something here, Hume? And just a little bit too long.
Great game style from Hume overall. You know, the progressive approach, keeping that ball moving, the speed of Bingham spinning into those channels as well has really impressed me tonight. It's just that final execution. May just need someone staying on the ball a little bit more. Instead of that pass and move, really drive the gap with the ball at their feet, commit a player in that back four.
Here's Tennant now for Hume. They win it back. Gardner with the first time ball. Can he get in between? He just loses out. Promising signs again for the home side. Ochieng grabbed his opponent Raphael around the waist there. Free kick awarded to the young Melbourne City winger. Over 2,000 here tonight at ABD Stadium. Terrific crowd, terrific atmosphere, and a great game of football we're witnessing. In this round of 16 contest, the winner, of course, through to the quarterfinals. They'll join the Central Coast Mariners, who made it through tonight with a 2-1 win over the Wollongong Wolves. Melbourne victory in action also this evening in their round of 32 playoff. Still 0-0 there. Here's Quoll, one of the substitutes for Nick Hegarty's side. Lawton. Looking to release Quoll again down the left. It's a terrific ball. He has numbers in the box. Can he find a pass? Well defended. Corner kick, Hume.
No, they're getting a lot of joy down that left-hand side. The right fullback not tight enough, overloading. Quoll spinning in behind as well, causing real big problems.
Opportunity here for Hume at the corner. It's not a bad ball into the far post. Cleared away. Ochieng back in. And still in dispute. Raphael finally with the clearance.
Foul.
That's a nudge in the back by Lawton. And Melbourne City can take a breath and clear.
You know, players buy into the emotion of the game, but Lawton's his experienced young player. You know, he has to delay Tilio there, keep the pressure on City. On the flip side now, they've got clear possession and they can turn them.
Here's a chance now for Tilio. And the shot. Kumbuka missed the mark. Hume City with a great record in this competition. They made the semi-final once against Melbourne Victory.
What are you feeling?
Only missed out. I'm just feeling that there could be a twist here, Scotty. There could be a twist.
I'm with you, mate.
They had a late surge in their round of 32 game against Port Melbourne. Mark Ochieng opened the scoring in the 17th minute. Port Melbourne equalised in the 79th, and then Bingham in the 92nd and Bernardo in the 93rd made it 3-1. So they don't mind a bit of late drama here at ABD Stadium.
Oh, listen, they're organised and they're structured. Anything's possible. And Bingham is that target man that they can play off as well, and he's in really good form.
Here he is, Bingham. And now Quoll in some space. Gardner. Weir. Now Bingham again. Tried the back heel. And he got a touch off Bose, did it? Yes, I think it's a throw in for Hume. Bose is down. He'll need some treatment. Nick Hegarty up and about on the sideline. He'll be pretty proud of what he's seen so far from his Chargers tonight. They've done a terrific job. Had some great opportunities. Mitch Cooper probably with the best one.
That needs to be scored. Mitch will rue that. He'll watch this back tomorrow. And now he's on the bench. He could have actually had a real strong impact in the game. But you're right, Nick can be really proud of this so far. It's not over, but I'm just looking at his body language now. He's up and about. He's pushing them still. He sees something.
Not long left in this contest. Weir's been good since he's come on, getting things moving in the midfield for Hume.
Now, I'd like to see Bowler just get on the half turn there, dropping a little bit too deep, getting the ball from the centre back higher up to affect their midfield press.
Gardner, he's been everywhere for Hume tonight.
Yeah, phenomenal work rate. But he needs to get on the ball again here now. Rather than going back, can we get on the ball? Another 5 yards or so.
Trenkovski with the long clearance. The boot cuts it out. But another throw in. They've had plenty of possession in the second half, Hume.
No, listen, they've been more than competitive. More than competitive.
They've probably had a lot more of the ball in the second half and created the better opportunities.
In good ways and in good positions on the pitch as well, which is encouraging.
Here's Ochieng. Gets an early ball in. Bingham is there. Can't control it. Raphael. Tilio wanted the free kick behind play. Thought he might have been fouled, but Melbourne City will be no rush to take this.
No. Certainly not now. They've been pushed all the way. You must admit, physically they've been pushed, technically they've been pushed, and tactically they've been challenged in the second half as well.
Nick Hegarty, the Hume coach, looking to go to his bench for one last time with a double substitution to inject some fresh legs and perhaps an equaliser. Here's Naboot in the meantime. Tries to put it beyond down. Andrew Naboot fires well over.
So obviously 2 attacking players coming on. It'll be interesting to see. Okay, so as you can see, holding midfielder, 2 holding midfielders coming off, maybe just changing the shape slightly. 1 holder, 2 10s, playing higher up, getting more combination play in those pockets.
Lawton and Gardner coming off for Umut Bozdugan, the number 24. And Ali Turgut, the number 10. Here he is on the ball, Turgut. Now Gumuka. Have they done enough to weather the storm, Melbourne City? Had to weather a few storms tonight, both meteorologically and on the park.
Yeah, definitely. Lesiotis there again. He had the opportunity to turn in the first phase of the build-up there, and you see Paddy Kaznorbo yelling at him, giving him the instruction to turn out, because ultimately he's bringing on that pressure from Hume because he keeps coming back the same way.
Qual dispossessed this time by Oresti, one of the substitutes, but it breaks down. Can Hume get it forward here? They can.
Great covering, well played.
Lesiotis
the other
had
side
to get
of the
there,
game,
didn't he?
Michael,
He had to get there,
you know,
because they were on.
Yeah, definitely. But it's great to see understanding and positioning from a young player. Fantastic.
Here's Tennant, the captain, looking for Bingham. Terrific ball.
Look at that.
Finds its range. Bingham wants the free, and he'll get it. He will get it.
What a great touch. What a fantastic touch.
And move it along quickly. Side against the long ball and build it up again. Here's Tennant. Ochieng. Nice little ball in by Ochieng. Walter wins the corner kick.
Yeah, great move.
Another opportunity for Hume.
That's what we were talking about before. Rather than just delivering that ball early into the box, into a congested area, you know, Weir peeling off, coming short as that platform, and it works. It works far, far greater.
We're in the dying moments of this one. Hume with an opportunity to equalise. Corner kick for the home side. There was late drama in the round of 32. Is there more here? Oh, terrific opportunity.
Wow.
The header was just wide of the mark.
That was it. Fantastic cross into the box. Wow, clear header. No chance for the goalkeeper.
Terrific ball. It's Burhan Earbol, who had the opportunity at the far post, just couldn't get enough contact. We approach the 90-minute mark. This has been hard work for Patrick Kisnorbo's side this evening.
You know, he'll make a number of changes come the weekend, but I'll tell you what, they've been pushed all the way.
Is there one more chance for Hume? Tilio, offside.
Yeah, marginally offside. Came from an offside position. That's a booking. Potentially would have been in a different game.
I thought Lockie Keevers was going for his card.
Here we go. So this is the situation we're in now. Out wide.
Ochieng, look at the space here for Mark Ochieng. Just misses his pass. Cut out by Bose. There'll be 4 added minutes. So still plenty of time for Hume to find that equaliser. Will there be some late drama here? Plenty of numbers in the box. That's too easy for Tommy Glover. Needed to do better with that one. Alexander the Walter, the substitute.
They'll look to switch the game off now. You see Paddy Kisnorbo shouting at the goalkeeper. Take your time, but potentially roll it out, come short, or go long in this situation here. Just see out the dying minutes.
Well, so many positive signs for Hume and their fans watching tonight.
The biggest positive for me is the fact they haven't changed their philosophy or playing style, irrespective of playing a top side. You know, they've really gone at them, created loads of chances. Even in the dying stages, you see the flat five across the back four of City. Once again, pushing their fullbacks high and wide. You know, really adventurous, which is a positive outlook on football.
They've got the Doherty Cup, which is the Victorian Cup competition, a long-standing competition here in Victoria. Final coming up this Sunday. They'll play Avondale, another one of the powerhouses of NPL football in Victoria. Avondale also involved in the FFA Cup competition. They'll play their fixture in a couple of weeks in the round of 16. Get to know their opponent. Ochieng. Here they go again. Hume plays the ball in for Walter. Can he get there? He can, Walter. Here's Quoll. He cuts the ball back. A chance for Bingham. City with the numbers. A shot from range. And that one is a tame effort by the substitute, Turgut.
You know, that's worked for them all night long. Ochieng picking up this position here. He's in that middle ground, in between the wide player and the fullback, which allows him to get on that half turn. And those key passes behind the centre-back there, outstanding execution.
It was a terrific pass, wasn't it, by Ochieng to release Walter?
They've obviously spoken about it because it's been really prominent in the second half. You know, that ball in behind that centre-back and a forward run on the blind side.
And the ball in the middle almost found Bingham. He scored in the 92nd minute last time in this competition, in the round of 32. Wasn't far away there. Is there one last hurrah from Hume City? Actually dictating proceedings at the moment, aren't they?
They really are, Michael. Yeah.
And Melbourne City just sitting back and defending at the moment. Now looking to counter.
What's impressive is the work rate, the transition from having it to not having it as well. You know, Tilio's an effective player. He's getting on the half turn a lot, but the minute he does get it, he's got 3 or 4 players around him as well.
So free kick for Melbourne City. Again, they'll soak up some precious seconds here. Well, it seems like a long time ago, but it was Matthew Leckie who gave Melbourne City the lead in the first half. Marco Tilio missing a penalty earlier. But that's all that separates these two sides. Glover with the long ball looking for Andrew Naboot. Eventually gets there. Tries to use his brute strength to bustle past the couple. Another foul, this time awarded to Melbourne City again. Fans don't like it. And that is that. That is enough. Melbourne City progress through to the quarterfinals of the FFA Cup. They had to do it the hard way. Outstanding resilience shown by Hume City, who made the A-League champions work hard for their win tonight. Full time here at ABD. Melbourne City 1, Hume City 0. Scott Miller, terrific entertainment tonight. And a great contest right to the end.
Yeah, how enjoyable was that? You know, Hume, as you said, you know, quite dominant in the second half. Doing it in a way that, you know, reflects their playing style as well. They'll be disappointed. They really will. Although they've done themselves really proud, they'll be disappointed they didn't maximise that. On the flip side, City go into the weekend. A lot of fitness, a lot of work rate done for their team as well tonight. But they go on to the next round. But Paddy Gosnoba will want them to improve just in terms of their fluency and ball movement. But it's like any time you play a team in the different division, they're going to come out with you with their maximum efforts, and they certainly did that tonight. So fair play to Hume.
Nick Hegarty knows all about this competition, having played in it himself, and he was in that team that made the semi-final against Melbourne victory, and he's prepared his side so well tonight, given there's no competitive football for them to play in. It could have been a very different story had Mitch Cooper taken his opportunity in that second half.
Yeah, for sure. No, you're spot on. They were set up really well. Their game plan throughout the game in terms of how they pressed, especially in the first half, was very compact in that mid-third and very instructive in terms of their wide players pressing their centre-backs and forcing them into the middle of the pitch. And they had a lot of joy from that as well, about winning that ball in that mid-third and on transition playing forward. But obviously in the second half they need to press a little bit higher up, which left spaces for Tilio to be a bit more effective. And obviously Naboo had that influence as well.
Melbourne City in the second half didn't really create many chances, did they? Raphael, from a moment of individual brilliance, created something and hit the post, but in the end, a terrific performance by